You have to remember with the Karma that Punish played it incredibly well. So that is the double whammy, not necessarily just the support ban. Potentially one given towards Punish there in the mid lane.
Well, let's see what LG decide to ban as their final ban. Once again, it looks like we're going to have a Vladimir or a Rise being left open and available as Rek'Sai is going to be the ban coming out on the blue side here.
And remember that Marin is kind of the Rise player on LGD. Vlad is more of a Punish champion. So kind of pick your poison right now, Saint, or you leave them both up.
It's really interesting how champion select's been changing a little bit. Normally we see Rek'Sai's Rise, Vladimir being banned on the red side. Now we see the target bans on both sides, forcing blue to ban one out. So red side don't get that double rotation power pick.
And I think it depends like how you go. If you throw out a very... Wow. So Amy gets attention. All right. I was going to say it depends like what the first ban is on blue side. If it's incredibly specific, like the Bard is a specific ban to Maidon. I think that opens up for Saint to be able to kind of reciprocate that.
Vladimir is going to be the first pick coming in for LGD. That should be going over towards Punish. Rise is still left up and available. We've seen that pass through Champion Select one time here today.
And, you mentioned last time around that, might be something that EDG take in both lanes. I said no. LGD will take Vladimir Rise. Like, that is a team comp that they will run incredibly well. So Acorn has got pressure here to pick that up for Snoopy or himself.
Well, Thresh has been the pickup for Mike Dong in the bottom lane. This Rise is going to be the lock-in, possibly for Acorn up on the top side of the map, but could be playing in the mid lane. Let's see if Snoopy decides to pick that one up later. As LGD still looking for their next two picks.
And, Amy's been hit a little bit here because they got rid of Rek'Sai on the blue side, did LGD. All of a sudden, the Elise ban puts him in a little bit of a strange position. His Kindred hasn't been great in the past, so they're going to continue to hide the jungle pick.
And Trundle and Siva are going to be their first two pickups here. So LGD flexing their top laner and support, or even flexing the Vladimir as a top laner or a mid laner. And Siva being picked up, one of the staple AD carries, and Imp will be playing that one here today.
Yeah, Imp Siva is really good. It's the difference between, like, people always are going to compare the Samsung brothers, right? Imp and Deft. And I feel like Imp is kind of left in, not his own island right now, but he really is expected to win his lane. So clearly, like, Amy's not going to come into Imp's lane and win it for him. It's up to the AD carry player from LGD to really win the lane himself, which has meant that we've seen so much passivity out of Imp at the moment. I mean, we're seeing a heck of a lot of Sivir out of the guy. And, when it gets to the late game, still does the damage, but it is just something that's a little bit interesting to note.
Well, let's see how it's going to perform here today. As STYZ is going to be picking up Caitlyn here.
Here's Caitlyn. This is what he's famous for. STYZ is a huge Caitlyn player, and normally it does see a ban against him, so interested to see whether he's going to be able to play it to, I guess, the level that we expect.
We're going to see the Greys being picked up here for March as well. So two carry pickups, both the jungle and AD carry position.
This is risky. If they were just hovering Lee Sin, I would prefer a Gragas. The reason being is that if Gragas falls behind, he at least has a huge game-changing ultimate. Lee Sin has the same, but he has to be in melee range. And against Ryze, Caitlyn, like Thresh, you're going to have smoke screens flying around. I just don't see how Amy executes a Lee Sin in this composition, so really would prefer him to go towards like the more mage version of the champion.
Well, let's see if he does. We've got 10 seconds to finalize their last two pickups here. Probably going to be a support and a jungler off of the way things have been going so far doing Champion Select. Does look like they are going to go for that. Gragas and Nami will be their support of choice coming into game number 1 against Saint.
And I was going to say the same thing about the Alistar. Like, there's just no point running Alistar into what is a very heavy disengage comp that is pretty difficult to engage onto. Nami gives you a feel of engage with the bubble or the wave if you're able to nail them like correctly and layer that CC. But otherwise, it's just going to be much more effective at, pushing Snoopy away on this Rise and making sure that they keep maximum distance.
The Saints still looking for their final pickup. Should be one of the solo lane picks. As that Rise is currently being flexed as a top laner or a mid laner. Swain's a champion we see picked up time and time again.
Especially by Acorn. Acorn really loves playing Swain, so...
most played champion to split.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see him take that into the top lane one more time. Has a fine matchup against Trundle until Trundle really gets to the latter stages of the game. Sets up very good gank paths.
Snoopy has played the champion as well so far this split, but he's also the only person in the team that's played Rise.
Yeah, Akon's not a great Rise. Even historically, Akon wasn't a great Rise, so I'm not expecting him to pick up Rise this game.
And there's going to be a Swain lock in it. That should be going on towards Akon up in the top side. Snoopy should be playing Rise in the mid lane. And Vladimir will be being played by Punished here.
Yeah, so, you know, Vladimir versus Rise is one of those lane matchups that can be incredibly volatile. If one of them falls behind, especially Rise because how the stacking works and his itemization, he can really get punished with the lack of wave clear, and Vlad can start turning into that team fighting powerhouse. At the same time, if Rise is ever able to shove Vlad in, disappear, we've all seen what Rise can do. Like, there's no point even going into it. So I think that will be where a lot of the attention is focused in this game.
Another major pick, we touched on it briefly, STYZ. It's going to be getting his Caitlyn pick here today with Thresh as his support. He's up against a very low-range Sivir and also very squishy Nami. So we'll have to see what STYZ can do in this champion.
Yeah, you know, potential volatile lane. And saying that, we've seen Sivers also give Caitlyn's a little bit of a hard time. So this could also swing both ways. Honestly, across the board, like March and Amy need to be incredibly active. And when they need an active jungler, they normally play captain. So pressure on March to step up.
Well, let's see what they can do here as we head into game number 1 between Saint and LGD. Well, next thing you know, Spawn's going to get me posing like Marin as well as doing the hair flick as we head into Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between Saints and LGD.
Fish, love you like a brother, but Marin is another caliber of human being when it comes to poses. He's a very attractive man.
Yeah, that's fair. Give it to him.
Yep. That hair. I just don't know how he does it.
Well, we're going to be able to take a look at the Keystone Marshes here as we head into game. Another very green layout here. There's lots of Strength of the Aegis being picked up, but so far Imp's been locked down here by the hook coming out. Forced to flash very early on.
Yeah, they went fishing and they caught themselves a Sivir. Another Thunderlord's Graves.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
Yep. We see a lot of Graves, you know, switch back and forth between the Thunderlords and Strength of the Aegis. One gives a little bit of extra burst early, one more health later on in the game. So March definitely looking to be a little bit more aggressive, it seems, here in this match.
Yeah, wants to be able to impact early. We're going to have a lane swap coming out of LGD. Not really all that surprising, given the fact that Imp just had to burn a summoner spell level 1.
So sending Imp and PY off to the top side of the map, looking to try and take down Gromp in the early levels of the game here. We can see the bottom lane for Saint looking to invade early and try and stop the jungle start, which would normally be taken by the AD carry and support, but instead, due to the lane swap, they're going to force them away from Krugs and force the Raptor to start.
Yeah, exactly right. So they get them away from that. That also means that Myron's not going to be able to grab any CS. STYZ and Mydong didn't start on a camp themselves either. So that means that, you know, Acorn going to be able to go up there, drop a bird on the way, back away.
Scumbag Acorn takes away one of these small Krugs as well, which denies a level 2 coming out from
we didn't
March.
get there in time.
Not going to be able to take the minions.
Happy feet from Acorn costs him 3 little creeps. And as you said, the fact that March was denied a level 2 means that this is a hard red buff to take. It's hitting him quite. That's a ferocious buff. And we'll see whether PYL is able to play any games with them here.
Does get it eventually, but March has to be very careful here. As PYL would try and be as aggressive as possible. They're just going to be able to take down these small birds here, it seems. Finally going to be able to take down the large raptor as well. So good juggle coming up from Acorn and March.
Here comes Punished.
Not going to get it.
What are you doing there?
March still picks it up. As Marin actually teleports down into the bottom lane. So Saint opting to send their AD carry and support topside. They want to match the 2-on-2 lane.
All right, this has already been a wonderfully wacky game. We'll see whether PYL and Imp are able to get a shot, pick up a pink ward, as well as maybe something like a longsword for their AD carry. Imp is running back quite a ways to get his recall, so it's not interrupted. Myron got an earlier level 2, but had to burn teleport. Also went Doran's Blade, which isn't going to help him much against the Swain. You're probably going to want the Corrupting Potion there, my friend, so you're in a little bit of trouble as well. And they're swapping back.
Yep, so LGD do not want to run into the bottom lane duo of STYZ and Mike.
This could be really dangerous for Acorn. So depending on how Acorn plays this, he needs to start trimming the wave right now. They got no vision in the wave. He doesn't know that LGD is coming. And if that stacks up and he's not CSing at all, which he isn't, there is a potential that just as 4 members arrive, he's going to be forced off a huge wave. So Acorn could be set incredibly far behind this game.
Well, let's see what happens to that bottom lane in a second. So LGD are now collapsing on that side of the map. PYL and Amy are right behind the turret trying to catch off Acorn. And like you mentioned, he's been forced off of that huge wave.
Yeah, so he saw them coming on a sneaky ward right there, but he's forced off the wave. Means that he gets no experience, no gold. And that when we swap this back, Marin should have a significant advantage. That's replicated in the AD carries right now. But Siva is always going to make you play against a wave.
Still Acorn sitting on 1 CS right now to the 19 of Marin. A pretty large deficit LG have already created for themselves, so they're going to be able to swap these turret trades. LG working on the bottom lane outer turret. Meanwhile, Saints are looking to try and take down the top lane outer turret.
Saint did a better job of taking up the creeps there. So they do go down, and Myron actually going to get the recall in here. So he doesn't get any gold for it. That's cheeky by LGD.
Instead, Imp and PYL would be ones that pick up the gold. Maybe give it on over towards Imp instead.
So this is dangerous because now it comes whether they fully swap back or whether they hold a freeze there. And the risk is that there's still 3 members top, and it's Trundle. Trundle, even with 20 CS, still can't clear the wave. So you can see that LGD, actually, they cancelled their recall a couple of times. They're a little bit confused as to what they want to do this game, Fish. I don't even know if I know what they're doing.
Well, they've been running around the rift so far, like headless chickens. Let's see what happens later on in this game. We're 5 minutes in. 2 turrets have fallen down. Both the outer turrets in the top lane and bottom lane are gone.
So both the teams get bounces, and Punished is in a little bit of trouble.
Takes a little bit of damage from the shotgun of Graves. Should be able to heal that one up quite nicely as of Vladimir. We can now see Acorn up in the top lane against Marin. The Swain up against the Trundle matchup as Amy has been caught out on the wrong side of the jungle. March is going to jump on top of him. Here comes the bubble from PYL. Not going to matter as Maidong picks up first blood.
Yeah, first blood picked up by the Thresh. Probably shouldn't even have burnt the Summoner spell, to be honest. Was never really in doubt there. So Saint able to get an early lead here and now pressure into this bottom lane.
Dark Passage comes out, tries to bring the jungler closer towards Imp and PYL. But Saint not able to find that second hook there.
And STYZ, he's on a pickaxe. He's 12 CS up. Quite healthy. Looks like they might want to look for a dive. Amy's coming back into this bottom side of the map.
Meanwhile, March and Thresh are able to take away the Krugs, but they're still looking for that dive, like you mentioned. Thresh going to get bubbled up, though. Does throw out the Death Sentence. PYL dodges it away. Gets the flag backwards. Takes a turret hit for that, though.
Imp was really smart there, actually holding the creep wave off the turret, making sure that the dive was going to be harder to execute upon. One thing I do want to point out is historically, LGD have been screwing with lane swaps from the beginning of time. I mean, they refuse to play a standard European lane swap, which has been proven tournament after tournament, time and time again, to be the right way to lane swap right now. So the fact that LGD are kind of like playing with fire here, holding a freeze on the Siva, trying to get the creep score back in their advantage, overextending a Trundle versus a Graves as well as that Swain, is something that might come back to bite them, but it looks like they've navigated it quite all right so far.
Well, it's creating a big CS deficit between Acorn and Marin right now, as here's a 3-man dive up top. Acorn has to flash away. Punish pops his ultimate. There's Amy just simply tanking up the turret as much as possible. The ultimate does get popped. Punish finds the kill up in the top lane.
So that's a really nice play. Now they're going to shove the whole creep wave back into the turret. It'll reverse. And that will give an even bigger advantage over to Myron. So, you know, we said that the lane swap, it's unique. And you know what? They're not even going to hold a freeze. They're sending their duo lane top. I honestly am confused as to what is happening.
Even PYL moving up to the top side of the map. LGD They're different, Spawn.
They are.
To a lot of teams in the LPL, they're very different.
They don't subscribe to your predetermined notion of how this game should be played.
They've got their own style of playing this game. They're going to stick to it, even if that means they're going to die.
And, technically, even after giving up first blood, they're still even on the scoreboard and have quite a bit of tempo here, although Nami's not in the top lane. They're diving again. Acorn's in trouble. Level 4 has gone back in there. That's a level 6 on the Trundle.
Well, here comes Mara. He's looking for that dive on towards the Swain. This is very aggressive, taking it up before the creeps even get there. Has to take quite a few turret hits. Imp flashes forward, picks up the kill. Acorn falls down another time.
Yeah, so Acorn getting picked on here. You see him on your screen. So they use the ultimate, they use the teleport, and they're going to be able to trip out this turret one more time. STYZ trying to do something similar on the bottom side of the map. But Siva has much better pushing potential than a Caitlyn at this stage of the game. So, once again, they're not doing it standard, but LGD are getting advantages in this unique lane swap.
Small advantages here and there are going to stack up quite nicely. As we take a look at the CS differences between the top laners, Marin is more than 30 CS ahead of Acorn right now on this Trundle. With those extra 2 kills going over towards his team, he's already been able to pick up a tier map for himself. Be crucial when he tries to split push away. Marin now actually trying to defend his turret against the Caitlyn and Thresh.
And they're actually faking that they have the jungler here, STYZ and Maidong. So that's a nice move from the Thresh. It will mean that they'll match the turret. But Acorn might be able to grab this wave and get a freeze, as LGD looking to potentially push through. See whether they continue to punish Acorn in his over-aggressive positioning on the map.
And they do, able to stop him from picking up the wave. There is Amy looking for another dive. Acorn needs to be a little bit careful there. The ultimate going to miss from Amy. Still gets the slowdown. Never move going to stop the Gragas bubble. Not going to connect either, but it doesn't matter.
All right.
Amy picks up a kill.
There were 3 skill shots thrown then, and 1 hit, but he still died because he is that far behind. Still doesn't have his flash available, and Acorn is just approaching these waves a little bit too eagerly, and it's going to continue to bite him. I mean, Amy, who was getting out CS in the jungle, now has that advantage because he's able to pick up a kill. They'll go back and they can rotate into the mid lane where Rise, not necessarily known for his wave clear at this stage of the game. LGD can just continue their rotations around the map.
Proactive play coming up from LGD has put them slightly ahead of Saint so far. This punish does get jumped on there by Snoopy. Takes a lot of damage as Vladimir, but he's able to heal it up as much as possible.
Still has the ultimate available, still has pull, so, he's not too concerned right now. But Snoopy is doing a good job of kind of trying to dictate the pace of this game. Acorn just wants a freeze.
He wants some sort of farm right now. He's 40 CS behind this Trundle.
Yeah, he's in big trouble. There is about a 10 CS lead in the mid lane and about a 15 CS lead in the AD carry. So there is some advantages for Saint around the map.
Still, LGD do have a 1,000 gold lead for themselves. March was trying to move down into this bottom lane, but PYL successfully repels Thresh from moving any further forward. March just take away the Gromp camp, but that's all he's going to get from this invade.
Okay, cool. Now, where does Marin go on the map? Because you can see that Acorn, he's kind of pushed up. He's level 6. Maybe wants something in the mid lane. You can see trying to pressure the Rise. But there's not really anywhere for this Trundle to go.
Amy staying inside this bush has not been spotted out. Gonna have to just jump away instead. Just looking for a surprise, it seemed. There's a few too many of Saint members moving towards the mid lane for his liking.
So good job by Saint and Acorn to be able to at least salvage some of this early game. There was a point where it looked like it was going to boil over pretty significantly. Snoopy again.
Lots of damage down towards Punish. Pops the ultimate, gets the chain combo down. Punish tries to turn around once he gets the Crimson Rush. Marin makes his way towards the mid lane too.
But now they've got 2 lanes frozen, so LGD have no choice but to stack up in this mid lane. There's no ability to dive. Snoopy is pretty healthy there with mana. See whether they're able to get a siege done early in this game.
5 members of LGD strong towards this mid lane. Bubble does get dodged out by March there. Snoopy doing his best job to wave clear. Does break the freeze though, as Acorn is pushing this wave towards the bottom lane now.
But you can see that he's actually picked up about 25 CS. To Marin's nothing, meanwhile. Got himself back within a level. Marin will surely go down there and pick that one up, but it's not all bad news right now for the Saint lineup. They've actually managed to salvage a part of it.
And they're still only about 500 gold behind LGD, so LGD did a lot of different rotations to try and get ahead here, but it's only given them a small lead, but a small lead nonetheless.
Yeah, but it is a lead, and as we said, LGD's early games have, at the moment at least, been a little bit wonky, so the fact that they come out of it anywhere near with an advantage is a good thing for this team.
Meanwhile, you can see big item pickups across the board. Proto Belt being picked up by the Vladimir, so Punish can have that extra burst damage and a little bit of mobility. Meanwhile, Snoopy looking for his Rod of Ages, as he already has that tier stacking up quite nicely. So is Acorn, waiting for his
Three members into the top lane. Here we go.
Looking for Snoopy now as the ultimate does get popped there by Punish. A teleport coming in for Saint, trying to stop the Rise from being taken down. Hideaway gets flashed out quite nicely by Snoopy, but he's exhausted and taking so much damage. Acorn now trying to turn things around. Good flash forward from Amy. He's able to give Punish that first kill up in the top side of the map. Now Acorn in a bit more trouble there. Tries to flash for PYL, but he flashes away from it. Gets jumped on by a troll. The slow from the barrel is going to be enough, and Maroon picks up another kill.
Yeah, so they're able to grab a couple of kills, but mid lane turret does fall down. Imp wasn't able to save it. So even though they're able to make the proactive play on the map, Saints still hit back.
Immediately, LG have their eyes set towards the Rift Herald. Imp was being flanked there by Much.
Here comes Maidong.
Good help comes on towards the Gragas. The light goes down. Maidong picks up a kill onto Amy there. So they're still chasing on towards this Rift Herald. The rest of the LG lineup, Punish finds his way down towards the bottom side of the map.
Flashes
Marsh
a
is
wall.
now on top of PYL. Gets lots of damage down, but he's going to get taken down here. PYL going to go down, but Punish picks
Imp.
up the return kill. Imp has to flash away from the 90 caliber net. Ultimate does come out from Caitlyn. Punish is going to be able to block that one away. And LGD still trade 1 for 1.
So
2 for
1 for 2, actually. So overall, that is a 3 for 2 trade, and mid lane turret went down in Saints' favor. So you have to say that they're starting to get the better of these little skirmishes around the map. Myron doesn't want to let his blue buff go, but I'm sorry, mate. You're probably just going to have to get the heck out of dodge.
Maidong's trying to zone him in. Gets the flay off and does get the hook down as well. STYZ puts a trap down on top of the troll. Lots of damage go down. Flash forward, 90 caliber net. Not going to connect again here for the Caitlyn.
And somehow I think that next teamfight that happens, he's going to wish he had his flash available. So a little bit of over-aggressive play out of STYZ there.
And we can keep track of that, but for now, Saint have been able to pull it back to close to even against LGD.
And you know, we're not at a kill per minute right now, Fish, but I feel like we're on the
Getting
cusp.
there.
We're getting close.
It's like a bell curve. There's a tipping point that you'll just eventually reach.
There certainly is. I don't actually even think it's a bell curve because I don't think it's coming back down for a very long time. Maybe as we get into the next game, but 15 minutes in, all tied up, you know, nothing really being given away by either team right now. And they have fairly similar scaling into the latter stages of this game.
Well, LGD looking to try and take down the first dragon of the series, which would be a Cloud Dragon. Which will be promptly respawning as an Infernal Dragon.
Oh, even better. They'll fight over that one. Here we go. I think that maybe Saints' lineup is a little bit easier to execute as this game goes on. Especially because they've got like things like Caitlyn and Ryze. But you have to keep in mind that, you know, Trundle will become a split push threat. Acorn is 0-4, not really having the best time in the game so far.
He's looking to complete his Ravenous Hydra Nexus. Marin, wow, going really aggressive against Marsh there. Very clutch subjugate. He's able to keep himself alive.
Faded.
And they're going to be able to take down the mid lane outer turret for that.
Yeah, it looks like they want to be able to take it down. So they will be able to get it done. But March pretty much doing his best top lane Graves impression.
Putting in some work onto the top lane inner turret there after forcing Marin out of the lane. Amy looked like he's trying to go wrap around for a flank. This Maidong now caught out a little bit. Boomerang Blade going to come out. There's the ultimate. Hemoplay going to put a lot of damage down on towards the Thresh. That's going to pop, take him down as well. And he's going aggressively forward on top of Snoopy as well.
And Punished is really starting to flex his muscle on LGD. I mean, a couple of games in a row he's been doing great things. 4-0-1 on Vladimir this time around. Able to grab himself another kill in that little skirmish. You know, people were doubting whether this truly was an upgrade in the mid lane. Seems to be doing a much better job in recent weeks.
He's 4-1 here on Vladimir. So performing well so far for LGD. Well, it's been a very action-packed game between Saints and LGD so far. 7-3 is the scoreboard. LGD have now found a sizable goal lead for themselves. They're about 2,000 gold up ahead of Saints.
Yeah, for the first time in this game, Protobelt used to just grab some extra creeps. And this is kind of the worry about Saint. As I said, they really do play fast and dangerous. And
yep.
Don't get me wrong, LGD play the exact same style, but it looks like they have a little bit more class in their lanes. So it was always going to be one of those games where unless this game starts snowballing heavily into Saints' favor, you think that the raw individual talent on LGD should be able to carry them through in what is going to be a very scrappy game.
That was a pretty cool spell shield from him.
Yeah, just didn't even
drive
blink.
by
Yep.
spell shield.
It was on Punish. Punish was taking a sip of his coffee at that time. I actually wanted to be on Imp to see what he was doing. I like to think that he was also just taking a sip of his coffee.
Magically pressing his spell shield at the same time. Hands off the keyboard. Now the LGD definitely taking things slow. They've already got lots of pings going down towards the bottom lane. They're looking at Akon another time here. He's currently 0-4, not having the best game here against LGD. He's been punished quite a bit, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's been camped out in the top side of the map quite heavily at the start of the game. So really wasn't the early game that he was looking for. March and Punish about to ram heads with each other here.
PYL's here as well, tries to get the bubble down, but Ultimate comes out from March to close the gap a little bit better.
Yeah, gets himself out of dodge nice and quickly, and now triangle vision being set up in the jungle. This is good from LGD. Once again, they've got a team fighting composition. They have the Sivir for really quick rotations, Nami for some catches. The more of the enemy jungle they control, the easier it is to execute on their composition. Especially against Caitlyn. Caitlyn likes to lay down traps. You have to be able to rotate in between the lanes, make sure you can dodge those for as much as possible.
They found Punish though. They've locked him down. Has to
Did
go
they?
to pool. Pops the Humo Plague as well. Flashes out of there. Going to heal up quite nicely with the ultimate. As him blocks the ace in the hole coming out from Caitlyn. And now Snoopy's been caught between a rock and a hard place. Amy going to miss that ultimate
you hate
punish.
to see it.
Gets the Crimson Rush and keeps himself alive and picks up the kill.
I actually don't know if he's hit one yet, Fish.
No, he has not. Unfortunately.
You know, zoning barrel coming out of Amy there.
If it works, it's okay.
Yeah, he died. You were correct.
He's missed a lot of ultimates, but every time he's thrown one, someone dies on the Rift.
Coincidence?
It's about sending a message.
Some would say that the message should be, you know, you don't need to use your ultimate if they're still dying. Just hold it for another important engage. But, you know, that's just another further advantage for the LGD lineup.
Now LGD looking to try and take down this blue buff. It's not going to be taken away off the back half of that boomerang.
See, if you had your ultimate.
You could have taken it. Yeah. Unlucky. Still, it's 8-3 in favor of LGD. The game has slowed down a little bit, but teams are still looking for fights wherever they can take them. Infernal Dragon is going to come up in a minute 30 as Thresh here has found Marin. Maitong does get the hook down. Is going to be able to play him backwards as well. Marin trying to run the heck out of there. Steps straight on top of a trap and takes lots of damage for it. But he's a troll. Just casually walks out of the jungle.
Yeah, so he's able to get away. Marin face checks a brush, and they don't really have control over that side of the map. It's strange because LGD did such a good job of setting up triangle vision in the blue side of Saint's jungle, but then they didn't go as a unit to the blue buff. They don't really invade that properly. They have to burn a flash on Amy. Now they've been playing to the top side of the jungle. So maybe just need to, you know, pick up their vision, move it back onto the correct side of the map, the strong side. Dragon is going to be up in 50 seconds, so you think that they would play to this bottom side of the map. But, you know, it's also LGD. I don't know.
I don't think anyone does at the moment. They're a little bit confusing sometimes. But one thing we do know is they like to fight, and Infernal Dragon is definitely a good dragon to fight over, which will be up in 30 seconds here. It's Punish trying to knock Snoopy out of this bottom lane. The rest of his team actually coming down as well. On the hunt being popped there by him. Amy not going to hit the ultimate again, but Snoopy's still going to fall down.
And one more time, Amy just proves himself right. I throw the barrel, someone dies. Causation of correlation right there. March going to have to head back to base. They're going to be able to get anything done here because the turret is about to fall.
Look at Punish. Punish is laughing out of his mind. I think he has the same sentiment as us right now.
Yeah, I think he does. So they're going to be able to pick up the turret. Infernal Drake is going to be next on the list right now for LGD. And it looks like they're going to be able to pick it up. No contest.
No contest coming out from Saint. They're not going to fight for this one. Which they should, actually. Amy's ultimate is down, which means nobody can really die anytime soon. As Cloud Dragon's going to be the next dragon that spawns here on Summoner's Rift. Amy's been having an interesting game.
It hasn't been a good game.
He's been proactive. He's been in the right place at the right time. Skill shots, different story.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's probably why I want to play
Imp.
Lee Sin. Imp's going to try and jump straight on top of STYZ, force the flash away. The crit's not going to be enough, but he finds a rise there. Ace in the hole is coming out. Teleports are coming in. Might not be enough. Imp still somehow able to stay alive. Ultimate from March going to snipe him off the back half of the team fight as Acorn now in a little bit of trouble. Being chased down by a troll and a Vladimir. Marin picks up that kill. March going to be able to quick draw out of the bubble.
Imp just burnt double summoner spells aggressively to try and solo STYZ. All he had to do was flash over a wall.
Yep.
Kind of baits himself into his death, goes back, picks himself up a defensive item, because that's what was wrong with the situation. But overzealous play from the AD carry of LGD.
X-Trick is that defensive item coming out from him, so he realizes, you know, can't be aggressive if Snoopy's just going to wrap up behind me and kill me.
Yep.
On the flip side, STYZ's got that Infinity Edge and the Runon's Hurricane picked up.
And once again, it's only a 4,000 gold lead. Sure, Punished is massive right now, but at a certain point in this game,
good flash from PYL. It's
here we go.
Aggressive.
And
he
hit
hits
it.
One. He gets March on top of that as well. Punish able to pick up that kill. Amy finally hits his ultimate.
Alley-oop there set up by Amy. He's going to get a red buff as he's just reward. Looks like Saints still want to be able to fight this one.
They're going on top of Amy. Never move. Not going to connect with anyone. Bubble. It's not going to be able to steal away the red buff as STYZ picks up the kill. Punish has been locked down by the Death Centers. Imp pops under Hunt looking for the back line here. Throws out a Boomerang Blade. The rest of LGD getting zoned out by the Crow. It's another Death Service for Mike Dong. Going to lock down Amy. Pops him down. Gets lots of damage down. Akon's the one to pick up that kill.
Dong is having a terrific game so far. 2-1-1. Probably the sole bright spot for this Saint lineup. March is also subscribing to the Clear Love build. He goes back, grabs himself a Yomu's. And LGD need to be really careful because they're up 11 kills to 5. They're up double Drakes. I mean, they're even up a turret. But STYZ just hasn't been forced off any farm. I mean, he's ahead of the clock by 20 at 24 minutes into the game, and he's Caitlyn. Like, there's going to be a certain point in this game where STYZ can just draw up battle lines and 1v5 the enemy team because there's no way to get onto him.
He's approaching a major power spike. Once he gets that rapid fire cannon, which should be his second Zeal item of choice, we have about 80% crit chance. With lots of range, lots of extra damage from an Infinity Edge as well.
Yeah, so, you know, they honestly have to be careful of this Caitlyn pickup. PYL caught, dead.
No flash to escape this time around. Gonna just get taken down by Akon. As Saints find another pick deep into LGD territory.
And LGD are just wandering around neutrals and one by one getting caught out of position. And STYZ has not left mid lane. He's just there chipping away at it. I mean, they've even got Ryze in the side lane right now. He's on 2 major items. Eventually, he's going to pick up a GA and avoid stuff. He's going to be unbelievably powerful as this game progresses.
STYZ is 40 CS ahead of Imp right now and matching him item to item at the moment too.
And look, it's not necessarily Imp's fault. I mean, Imp had that weird swap at the start of the game. But it's just that one at a time, LGD are filing in and getting picked off.
You can see the rest of the Saint lineup. Akon's picked up his Zhonya's Hourglass to go, the Rod of Ages. So that's going to be a very scary sway once he gets into the middle of team fights. Locket of the Iron Solari being picked up as well by Mike Dong, so able to shield up the rest of his team and negate some of the magic damage that we put up by both Punished and Amy.
And Maidong's actually having a really good game. Invasion coming in onto the blue buff of LGD this time. Myron needs to be careful.
Not going to take too much damage here. Maiton does get a hook on top of Imp there. Decides not to follow up. He's being chased down by a troll. Myron trying to collapse on top of him. Good pillar comes out, separates the team. Maiton gets taken out. Amy finds a good ultimate this time as March takes a lot of damage, but LG content with a single pick.
Ryze actually teleports in here. Punished, ignores him completely, and is ghosting after the unit.
Chasing them down. He's going to be able to Hex Tech forward if he gets close enough. Pops down the ultimate there. Hex Tech doesn't hit anyone, but still able to take down 2 kills. Now Acorn, he's just kind of stuck here. Spawn, Spawn's just collapsed on the tail. He doesn't even know what's going on anymore. Imp tries to duel out Snoopy here. Maro's coming out the top line. Siva doesn't care about this Ryze. Acorn's going to get taken out across the other side of the map. Maro trying to duke it out with Snoopy. Pops that Saracen base. We're watching 2 team fights as ones as Acorn gets taken down. Ryze going to be the next to fall here. Imp should be able to pick up that kill, and LGD find a very delayed ace.
A clean ace, if you will, Fish, in the sense that no one died. But in saying that, I just watched a man flash over 2 people and proto-belt nothing.
It's all about gap closing.
It certainly is. The mobility creep is real in League of Legends right now. They will be able to pick up Baron and about a 10,000 gold lead for their trouble.
Oh, Maidong trying to do what he can to steal it away. Not going to happen as Punish blocks the death sentence. And like we said, huge gold lead for LGD, and they do have Baron buff on top of it too.
They are unbelievably ahead right now. I mean, 16-6. Once again, they're turning up the pace of this game.
Getting closer and closer to a kill a minute.
And Punish really was huge there. He just ghosted in and would not be denied.
Doing his best Amy impersonation with the...
I wonder if that's what he said.
Well, he was laughing at Amy after the first 3 ultimates. I wouldn't be too surprised.
I hope Amy gave it back to him after that one. Dragon is going to be spawning in about 5 seconds. It is a cloud, so not really all that much there. But they do want to keep cycling through. They'll get another normal Drake if they're able to take it on spawn.
And afterwards, it can't do it. Words are hard. The big dragon's going to come out.
Elder.
Next. Elder Dragon will be there to be taken down.
They'll get one more right now.
Cloud Dragon will be the next one. 3 Cloud Dragons. Move pretty fast.
Certainly do, especially when you have something like a Sivir and Nami, and move speed is incredibly important to Trundle as well as the Vladimir.
It's Maro now able to go toe-to-toe against Acorn.
He's Flame Horizoned him. He's about 100 CS up.
He's got that Ravenous Hydra and Spirit Visage being picked up, looking for a Frozen Heart next. It's a very big troll that's just completely zoned Acorn away from the turret.
March has come up. He wants a piece of him.
He's going to try and do his best. Pops the Yoma's Ghostblade just to clear out the wave there. Gets a couple of buckshots down towards Marin. Meanwhile, LGD just taking down mid lane. Mid lane, turret being taken down. Imp trying to go toe-to-toe against STYZ. Very close range. Pops on the hunt. Wants to go and chase even aggressively forward as Maidon puts down the ultimate. Getting locked down by Amy's ultimate. Body slam across the wall. Finds another kill. LGD just running all over Saint. And this could possibly be game here, Spawn. As Acorn going to be the final member to be taken down. And it's going to be 4 kills going on over towards LGD.
Yeah, 4 kills for LGD. It is only March available. They have a creep wave right there, as well as Marin's teleport coming back in. This should be enough for LGD to take game 1.
And it's a very quick game so far. They're looking to try and push him. March trying to do what he can to stop this, to try and take away as many minions as possible. Now, on top of the Nexus turrets, Flash is coming in very aggressively forwards towards March. The turret's going down. The next turret's being worked on. And LGD, a very quick, very clean, very decisive game coming out here against Saint.
Yeah, I agree with the click. I agree with the decisive. Clean.
Not so much clean.
I am not so sure. We have different standards on cleanliness, Fish. But they are able to get it done in the end. 26 kills in a 29-minute game. And Punish was huge on Vladimir.
Certainly was. He was 8-0-10 at one point. Didn't check his score at the end of that final team fight. Did his best to put on his good Amy impersonation throughout the game, but it was a very chaotic game.
And Amy actually came back into that game quite strong. I mean, his team fight, like his individual ultimates for the picks were whiffing a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, the team fight ultimates, definitely there, definitely able to get it done.
Still, even though he missed those very early ultimates, he was still there when the fights happened. He was able to assist his team and pick up the picks. This was a good start. The Flash body slam was strong. Got that ultimate.
Yeah.
Was able to take down Snoopy.
Fantastic alley-oop. They're able to pick up Acorn here as well. They did lose out on the mid lane turret, but they understood that this was a fighting game. When you were playing against Saint, not a cerebral team. They're not looking to drag you around the map. They want to fight you. And Maidong had actually a pretty impressive performance in this one.
So they did pick up that kill onto Amy with the Thunderlords and Ignite. And it started this team fight for the rest of his team. But I think LGD were able to turn this one back around once it got a little bit too chaotic.
Yeah, and you know, that's what it really came down to, is that everyone was just running through. I mean, Imp nearly gets taken out here, but Punish is able to block up the ace in a hole. And when the fights really started to deteriorate, I mean, massive flanks coming out of nowhere. People were just running all around, ulting rivers for some reason. The game swung back into LGD's favor.
This is a good flash from PYL as well. Immediately as soon as the 2 members came out of the bush, turns the team fight around. Finally, another ult gets hit there by Amy. And this was
the moment that I knew it was over. Right there. That moment right there sealed it for me, Fish. I was like, he is that far ahead that he just 1v3 people by missing half of what he had in his kit. That's when you know that the Vladimir is too damn strong.
Well, Punish had a very good game when that Vladimir there picked up that Protobot, was doing some funky things in it. But Saint, they just didn't look like they had any control over the game at all.
Hey, that's what it actually looked like. It looked like LGD was swapping the lanes, swap back and forward, you know, picking on Acorn, and Saint didn't have an answer. They were as confused as we were as to what was actually going on. And LGD just played a different tempo, and Saint weren't able to keep up.
Well, let's see if they can keep up in game number 2 here as we head into a quick break. We'll be back with the rest of the series between Saint and LGD.